Circle.
It's not falling in place, it's falling apart. You lack all the confidence had at the start. Your people are tired, their patience is thin. No one is counting on big midterm wins. Polls not going up, they are up Schitt's Creek. Markets and growth are trending too weak. The war's raging on with no end in sight. Gasoline prices are reaching new heights, saying one thing when the other is true. It cheers up the room, but then when it's through, truth starts to creep in and rattles the base, asking how you can lie right to their face. It's damn near over. You had a good run. It's been nice to know ya. You sure had your fun. It's damn near over. Writings on the wall, they sure used to love you. Now they're watching you fall. Races are going to your opposition. Endorsements ain't what they used to be. Your army ran out of their ammunition. Concessions are your only victory. As you flail and flop over easy decisions, your people are running for the exit door. Your math did not count on so many divisions. No one can tolerate your act anymore. It's damn near over. This is the sad end. Your team's seeking cover as you'll never defend. It's damn near over. You're under the gun. We all see what's up here.
Oh.
Your gig's almost done. Hey!
Well done.
It's like the reflecting pool.
Oh, yeah.
Really hate that sad loser, Mr. Newberger.
Who, me? If you enjoy Mr. Newberger's AI funnies and want to help support a creator, subscribe to his Patreon, donate at his GoFundMe, or share and like this video on all platforms.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, my goodness, you two. It's been rather crazy in the news. I'm glad you. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this to be quiet. Whoops,
Wow.
sorry about that.
He even managed to get in a dig at that new toupee Trump started wearing the other day.
Oh, is he wearing a new one?
Well, that's what's being speculated anyway. Let's just say his hair suddenly got very full and very fluffy and very bouncing and behaving. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, you both are doing well, I hope. I hope
Hang
you are
in
doing
there.
well.
Hang
Yeah.
in there. Okay.
Awesome. Great. And of course, we welcome all of you to this Hot Topics Thursday, where we get together and we talk about hot topics. My name is Whimsy. I'm the host. My co-host, of course, is Chuck Dransfield, and making sure that all of you get your questions in so that we can hear them. No problem. We have the amazing Joel Tilson.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what is going on here. Also, for those people who are not aware, we wanted to announce for those people who did not hear the announcement that Diane's Aquarius has passed. Unfortunately, there was an announcement made by her husband, Michael, that she had passed on August 3rd. Of course, she was one of our very own, part of this community for many, many years. offering her insights into tarot, spirituality, helping to support this community, uplift this community. We are heartbroken, and of course, our love, compassion, and prayers go to Michael and to all of Diane's family. Of course, she is survived by her husband, Michael, and their pets. And we, of course, will include her and the family in our prayers today when we bring in the empath prayer. I don't think I need to say it, but may her memory be a blessing.
Condolences.
And when we find out the address to send condolences cards and donations, we will definitely let you know.
Yeah.
Wow. So looking at the news and everything that is going on right now, I will go ahead and we'll pick one, starting with our very own floor director. I think I got to start with you. You didn't drive us too crazy with cue cards today, but starting with you, Joel, what do you think is the number one story that everyone's talking about this week?
Well, I think to my mind, the big story is Iran. And then Max Miller is another one, whether he's going to be, he's a congressman that's running for re-election.
Yeah.
And he's a wife and what do you call this, daughter abuser.
Accused of abusing his daughter.
Yeah.
His wife and his daughter, I believe.
Right.
And his former father-in-law is already
his father-in-law, who's a senator from Ohio.
Yes.
Now, for those people who don't know, can people, Joel, would you be kind to just set the stage? Who is Mark Miller? He's
Max Miller.
Excuse me, Max Miller. Why did I say Mark? Max Miller. Can you tell us a little bit about who Max Miller is and what the controversy is? Can you go in a little bit more detail?
He's a Trump supporter, congressman.
Okay.
And he's been accused of being a wife and daughter abuser. And he's running for re-election. And he put out a video over the weekend, which was very it was sick and sad. And
what was the context?
He was trying to make excuses on why he did this and did that, and it didn't look good. It wasn't a good look. Made him look like he was a psychotic.
Yeah, Joel, wasn't that the one where he also said, "Look, my wife even cooked for me. She made a meal. Now, if I were abusing her, why would she have cooked for me?" Wasn't that in that speech?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got heavily criticized.
Wait a minute. So he's still with his wife?
No.
I should have said ex-wife. I'm sorry.
So why is she cooking for him?
You'd have to ask her that. That was what he was claiming, and he was using that as a basis. Say, look, that proves I'm not abusing her.
It made it.
And what are the allegations against? About what type of abuse are we talking about with his kid? Was it neglect, or who's the accuser? Has the child herself accused him?
The wife and daughter.
Yeah.
Are accusing him of what? Physical abuse or something worse?
Both. And also
both what? Mental, physical, something else?
I don't know about the nasty part, but I know that it's physical and mental.
And I think that's been corroborated by his former father-in-law, the senator.
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, didn't his former father-in-law said, my son-in-law is an evil man, very bad, something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing it.
So I have to, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking before we were going on the air and I was getting prepared for the show, I was thinking about the stuff that we have talked about. And I was thinking, Joel, Chuck, I don't know. Is Oshun gonna leave anybody? Is anybody gonna be left?
No.
Because it doesn't seem to be. Is everybody corrupt in DC? Because a lot of people are being taken out.
Yeah.
Democrats and Republicans. Oshun's going to get them all.
Right now, she's being judicious with her tweezers.
The tweezers are working.
Mm-hmm.
The tweezers are working, yeah. So Trump is probably sensing that as he watches everything around him, wondering when his term is coming. And I can imagine that Netanyahu and Putin are thinking the same thing. And of course, it's now official that we are well on our way to completing phase 2 of the 5 phases. Joel, any feelings about that?
It's a step in the right direction, I think. If Hamas surrenders and gives up their weapons and they're allowed to leave, I mean, the possibilities are endless. But it all depends on what Netanyahu says. You know, whether his government's going to support it or not.
Yeah.
Surprised that Turkey decided to take Hamas terrorists.
Yeah. Of all the countries, I never would have thought of Turkey.
Yeah. What do you
I was thinking Qatar or UAE or
Algeria. I think people were voting Algeria and Indonesia.
Right.
Indonesia had taken.
Or even Libya.
Interesting. Syria.
I don't know about Syria. Syria right now is pretty in a lot of turmoil, and to begin with anyway. There's basically a civil war going on in Syria. It's just not being reported. There's a lot of groups vying for power in Syria.
Seems like there's a lot that's not being reported.
Right.
Sometimes I'm surprised by the topics you come up with, you know, how you get access to these stories that I don't see on the regular
remote
news.
view.
I don't know how I do it, but I just see it and I report it. I try to get it on the shows here. Yeah. What I know and what I try and what I think is going on in the background. And I that's why I put all these questions on here.
Yeah.
Were you surprised at how long it took to get to phase 5?
Yes.
Because I was.
I was very surprised that they all of a sudden decided to surrender and give up their arms, Hamas.
Phase 2.
But now,
yeah.
Also, I forgot to put it in there, but Israel is bombing Iran right now, and Hezbollah. They're taking care of it. Hezbollah in Beirut right now, going after the nest up there. I don't know how successful they're going to be up there. That's going to take a while.
Well, we have phase 1 complete. We're now completing phase 2 in the coming weeks. Phase 3 will now see in the coming months. We'll start to really see things heating up on the rebuild and the new Gaza. Right. Phase 4. How are you feeling if you're Putin? Joel first, and then I'll ask Chuck.
I don't think he's going to be arrested. I think he's just there's going to be so much pressure put on him. And then with the September elections coming up in Moscow, for the new, what they call the Duma or whatever it's called.
The Duma.
I think there's going to be a lot of pressure from all the groups in Russia to end this war. And I think he might just give up and just go to Siberia or somewhere else.
Why do you think it was so hard to engage in step 4?
Because Putin wouldn't let go.
Yeah.
His ego is what's driving this, the whole thing.
I'm sorry, Chuck, go ahead next.
I was just going to say that for the longest time, I've been seeing that in my own readings, Putin's bravado, his ego, his denial comes up a lot. And so he just doesn't want to see the obvious. And I've seen that with psychopaths. They don't want to look at the obvious. It's like they invent their own little world and they believe what they're creating. I think that's what's held it up. But I think we still have that envisionment of him ending up in Siberia, probably in some nice castle with an ankle bracelet on, exiled away.
What a nightmare.
Yeah.
What are the statistical odds that What are the statistical odds that Russia hands him over to the West? Anything change on that?
No.
Has there ever been a historical time when Russia has handed anybody over
No.
to the West? Yeah, I didn't
No.
think so. I couldn't
No.
find a case, but maybe I
I can't
missed
think of a
something.
case.
Yeah, damn.
They're just not going to let it go.
My next question I wanted to ask you guys, do you think it's possible that they'll complete phase 5 before they complete phase 4?
Whimsy, didn't you say that you
Possible.
ran this through Grok again
Yes.
and you got the same answers
Yes.
again, even though you were doing it much later? Because you did this
Yeah.
back in 2023, didn't you? You said
And now I'm
recently
using
it still
Claude
showed this.
because
Yeah.
I feel that Grok has been compromised, so I'm switching now to Claude,
Yeah.
and I'm getting the same data. And
Yeah.
the first 3 are critical. It's like critical, which is probably why Biden's intelligence endorsed the first 4, because he called for Putin's arrest publicly. So I don't think when people called for Putin's arrest, they realistically thought it was going to happen. But I do think that artificial intelligence is neutral. It's neutral.
No
and
emotion.
That's right. And I think that what Claude is saying, now we're using Claude, I switched, like I said.
Well, don't you think that he'll get a Yeltsin deal?
From the computer's perspective, it's a nuclear war. It's an arms race, and he has to be removed.
He'll talk about it. He'll talk about a nuclear attack. Well, right now, I just heard late last night, early this morning that there was attacks. There was a drone attack. Russian drones were attacking a Berlin airport.
Wow.
And
Do you think that's
that was from the enforcer, by the way.
Okay, well, they do really good reporting. So, do you think that Putin is scared? I mean, what kind of mental state would he be at? Since I think this is public now, the 5 phases.
Yeah.
I would think if I were him, I would just be. I would have no choice but to fight, and that goes back to that whole idea that he has to be removed with tweezers because he is so volatile.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to me that phase 5 could be completed before phase 4. I thought that was kind of an interesting curiosity. And it's not what the computer wanted. And I think that's because of the nuclear threat of phase 4.
Right. That's the scary thing about Putin.
That's why I think it was supposed to go first. To be honest with you guys.
Yeah.
Well, he's extremely paranoid and just agitated right now. And I don't think he's getting enough rest, too.
No, no. And Whimsy, you more or less have confirmed he's a drug addict, a serious drug addict.
It's really
doesn't get
pretty
enough sleep.
horrible.
He's mentally ill. I mean, it's like a perfect storm. And to think of a man like that having access to nuclear bombs is terrifying.
Well, look how paranoid, look how bad Stalin got before he passed in 1953.
And he was never handed over to the West either.
No.
Well, a lot of people thought that the Tsar would be handed to the West after World War I, right?
No. You mean Kaiser?
What was the story with? Didn't they have? Who were they supposed to hand Tsar Nicholas to when he was?
The royal family in England, but they said no. King George said no.
That's really horrible.
Yeah, and they're blood relatives, aren't they?
Yeah.
First cousin.
That's what I thought.
They looked alike.
Yeah. In fact, when the bones were discovered, Prince Philip donated DNA to help identify.
Do you know what I think is going on here? I think that more than likely Britain was facing civil war and they were afraid the socialists were going to take power, particularly the rise of socialism, Engels and Marx in Britain, and the rise of socialism with the workers' revolts. And they were afraid that if they took Tsar Nicholas in, it would look like they were basically snubbing the workers and it would push them towards full-out revolution. And I think that's probably what was going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Engels was. Have you guys ever read about the life of Engels?
No, I haven't.
Absolutely horrible man. he had like an Irish maid as a girlfriend, and he didn't help her at all, and she was poor, and they had all these kids, and I think they wound up as foundlings. Same thing happened with Rousseau. He just had relations with this poor woman and then left his kids to die in orphanages.
God.
Engel was not a nice guy. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think her name was Mary, and she was Irish. But you do start to see rapidly, right around the 1910s, 20s. You also see Civil War, the fight of the Irish. If you look at the poetry of Yeats, where they talk about people
plus
getting.
you had the anarchists going on too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Bombings and stuff like that.
Yeah, Pinky Blinders, right?
Yeah.
The TV show Pinky Blinders, that people were discovering socialism. But it was really great in a way because they moved a lot towards socialism in Britain. But by the 1960s, a lot of people were complaining that it had gone too far. People like the British, Cat Stevens, etc., left Britain because they felt like they were being overtaxed. So it's an interesting history. Well, I wanted to also make an announcement about our book of the month. And of course, next week we will have her in our studio. God willing, Diana Reimer is the artist. And the book of the month that we have selected is From Abuse to Enlightenment.
Yes.
Transforming My Childhood Trauma Using Spiritual Principles.
Yeah.
Definitely want to be here for this interview.
Great.
Check out the book if you want to read it on Amazon. Trigger warning, it does deal with traumatic memories in explicit detail. How are you feeling about the book?
Well, I'm just loving it's a memoir about turning trauma into personal growth, and she has a focus on forgiveness, self-awareness, and it's also a reminder that healing is not necessarily a linear process. You know, sometimes it is touch and go, but it's very frank, it's forthright. I think it's going to help a lot of people who read this book.
I'm glad we're covering it, and of course we don't have to agree on everything. I'm sure there are issues where I don't entirely agree with every conclusion, but healing is one's own personal journey.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah. So Chuck, would you be so kind as to turn the camera around and go ahead and greet everybody? And then once we do that, we'll go ahead and do the empath prayer. And if anyone would like to receive a healing at this time, be sure and give us your name or the name of the person that you would like us to pray for, and we will pray for them as we bring in the empath prayer. But before we do that, I think Chuck's going to take a moment to say hi to everybody.
Yes, I'm going to say hi to some people. Well, obviously, our Joel Tilson is here right now. Carol Ellichson, 3504. Brenda Rakestraw. Jen J65. Gigi Pardo Lord. Oh, here's a good name. At Good as Gold 2.0.
Oh, boy.
Yes. Sharon Sadowski, 5556. Poet MZ3, Tarot by Sharona, Ruth D. Wiggins, 3582. Let's see, did I get Deb P9J? And forgive me if I mangle the pronunciations here. I try my best. Colleen Rieger, Enhurst, Nancy Potter Johnson, 3454. Hermitage Dam, RD. Rebecca L 135, Alana Pierre 5394. Okay, I'm going to struggle on the pronunciation here. Let's see, Magritz 155. I hope I said that right. Linda Z-19B, Elizabeth Beck, Teresa Swan, Tenisifanga, Gloria Bergeron 4342, Kimberly Bly Fitpold.
Okay.
We got some great friends here today.
We'll continue to say hi to everybody. Let's go ahead and take a seat as we bring in the empath prayer. And of course, be sure and give the name of the person you want us to pray for, whether it's yourself or someone else. And we are more than happy to include them in our prayers today as we come together at this time and we bring in the empath prayer. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say Amen.
Amen.
And for those people who are requesting healings today, we come together at this time and we pray. We pray that you and those you love receive a perfect healing in mind, body, and in spirit. And together again, collectively, we say, Amen, Amen, Amen.
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 May all souls be healed.
May all souls be healed.
Be healed.
I have to say, I'm very surprised by the passing of Diane Aquarius. She was
That's
a
so
vegan,
sad.
whole foods, health fanatic. She was very health conscious. She was on smoothies and greens, beans, onions, berries, mushrooms, nuts, and seeds. This was
Yeah.
an incredibly health conscious person. And I think it just goes back to show you that you can do everything in your power to take care of yourself, but things happen. And it's just,
Yes.
it is what it is, you know.
Bless
Like
her
she would be
soul.
the last person I would expect would be having, for example, coronary artery disease or something like that. I mean, she was a vegan. They don't get coronary. It's like she
No.
was a health food vegan.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just very upsetting.
It was her
very
time.
shocking. Yeah. Joel, please go ahead.
Well, yes. Will Dr. Fauci be indicted by Congress or the DOJ? Why is the GOP and Trump so hell-bent on punishing Fauci? I think we've got several theories right there. I think, for one thing, it's an excellent distraction.
No,
Trump
it
is
is.
always looking for distractions. That right off the top right there, Trump has also had a vendetta against him. I wonder if it's even a vendetta because Biden gave him that preemptive pardon. And it's like, oh, yeah, well, we're going to work around that.
Do you think it has to do with the CDC being taken over by RFK Jr.?
Quite possibly.
And failed policies of their CDC. So now
CDC
they're going to...
is a mess.
Right. So instead of looking at our CDC, which is killing people because we decided we weren't going to monitor, we weren't going to worry if your kid had a measles vaccine. People don't understand the problem with measles. The problem with measles is that toxins and medical problems can arise where you catch measles and then the long-term consequences, you can die 12 years later because you weren't vaccinated. There are actually diseases associated with non-vaccinated people who catch measles. They die 12 years later. Isn't that crazy?
It's insane.
My son when we were stationed in the Philippines back in the 80s, he was still, I think, around 12 or 13 months. And he got that bad measles that was going around. They had an outbreak in the Philippines and it killed 5 babies in just the neighborhood where we were living at.
Yeah. And then, and then you think your kid's out of the woods and they may die months or even years later. Yeah. So that's the scary thing about the disease of measles. Mumps will sterilize you because it causes inflammation in the gonads.
Yeah, I had the mumps back in the 50s. I was about 5 or 6 years old. My mom looked at me and said, "You got the mumps." She felt my, the sides of my neck. Said, "You got the mumps. I'm going to call Dr. Sauer."
Right. And the problem with polio is that polio gets into the nerves.
Yeah.
And because it attacks the nerves, we wind up crippled.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it can get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Polio doesn't die. You will always have polio.
Yeah.
I remember in the 55 or 56, we were all standing in line at the high school in the small town of about 400 people in Herman, Nebraska. And everybody in the town, I mean, all the people just lined up without even questioning anything. And it was their duty. It was everybody's duty to do that back then because nobody wanted to get polio.
Right.
So
And
everybody lined up. I mean, whole families.
Remember that the sugar cubes with the
Right.
vaccine?
We didn't have the sugar cubes. It was the injections.
When I was a kid, it was
the
sugar cube, and I remember we all took it and nobody questioned it.
Yeah, that was Sabine and Salk, their debate about how it would be administered. And then you had rubella, and rubella, German measles, was very mild, but if you caught a mild case of it while you were pregnant, your child could be born deaf and dumb. So you had a lot of kids being born deaf because the mother had contracted rubella in utero.
That happened to the actress Jean Tierney. She was pregnant with her daughter, and she was out doing a tour, something, greeting fans, and she came down with German measles and gave birth to a severely deformed child. And it was like many years later, a fan approached her and said, "Oh, I met you once before. I was sick that day with the measles, but I decided to come out anyway because I wanted to meet you so much." And Jean Tierney said I think she had a nervous breakdown over it. She was so devastated.
Did she tell the woman what happened?
That I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, just a lack of education. So what it feels to me is we pulled back on that. There's a reason why we want your kid to be vaccinated by measles. Well, look, he's up and playing. He's fine from measles. And then the kid keels over and dies a few months later. That's measles. 12-year-olds dying from measles they caught a couple of years before. That's the dangers of measles. Mumps, children being sterilized, right? Enlarged gonads, right? The problem with rubella, you're fine. It's just a mild case of German measles, not realizing that you just infected a pregnant woman, right? So this is the problem when we're hoping for herd immunity, or we think we're not hurting anybody. And polio is the worst of all of them.
Right.
And why they put a RFK Jr. in that position doesn't make any sense. He's not even a doctor, for crying out loud.
Well, I think we should throw on it, but I think that Dr. Fauci is a distraction.
That's all it is.
Okay, so
let's take a look. Is he going to be okay? What's the karma over Fauci?
I don't think they could touch him.
No, I don't think so either.
Upheld by the courts. So he has the right to free speech. He has the right to the Fifth. So there's nothing that they can do to him. No. But he was heartbroken over what they had done to his family. So it looks like they were threatening and harassing his family.
Oh, they were.
They were.
I think death threats.
They're also trying to get into his finances and business, his ethics. Situation transformed. Judge rules in favor of Fauci.
Good.
That's what I see.
Yeah. He's done nothing wrong. He has the preemptive pardon. Even pleading the Fifth 100 times, he was advised by his counsel to do that. They're just looking for anything
at all.
Anything. And I think it's all going to be thrown out. But what I'm getting, it's when I got this competition tug of war card, it's just all the internal bickering beneath all of this, going about the business, their agenda, their priorities. But as far as Dr. Fauci goes, I got the grace card. He's going to be fine. There will be a state of grace over him. And I think that ties in with what you said about the judicial system.
Let him retire in peace.
Well, the man's, 86 years old?
80-something years old.
86.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. This is sir.
What are they accusing him of? I don't even understand what they're accusing him of. Trying to keep people alive during COVID?
They're accusing him of starting the virus.
Oh, God.
Are you freaking kidding me? It came from a lab in Wuhan.
Yeah.
He's saying, Rand Paul was saying that I have proof that Dr. Fauci funded the research in China.
Okay, they've really gone off the deep end.
Oh, yes.
But I like the research that they were doing in the Wuhan lab, because what they were doing is they were trying to mount a mild immune response and tagging it with the HIV virus. So you have an HIV virus, and then you tag it with something like a mild COVID, and then you put it up someone's nose, and then they have a mild reaction, but then they no longer can get HIV because you've just vaccinated them for how many months with that COVID. So they were attaching HIV to a COVID. COVID is a big problem. Everybody was looking at vaccinations for COVID because of herd immunity in pigs. So it was for pig livestock, but then they were taking things like parts of HIV and saying, I wonder if we're working on a vaccine for pigs, but what if we could vaccinate for HIV also? And I think that's really clever what they were experimenting with. And the idea that those of us that were infected with lab COVID could actually have been protected from HIV if the theory played out, so we always assume that if it's coming from China, it must be this nefarious, awful thing. But the concept of what they were researching is actually pretty cool.
Well, it didn't help Trump calling it the China virus, vilifying it.
It probably, a lot of people didn't want to believe it came from a lab, and they were saying it was zoological. In a way, it was, because they started with wild strains and they were doing gene splicing. And that is something that we see happens with vaccines. They will take a particular protein synthesis and they will grow it in a lab, PCR. They'll grow it, they'll amplify it, and they'll use that one splice in order to vaccinate you. So that's what they were doing. They were doing splicing. You can grow it in E. coli. There's all kinds of cool ways you can do it. And but it had nothing to do with Fauci. And I think it and there was also, and people were spying on each other. The Chinese were spying on the Americans to see how they were vaccinating pig herd vaccinations, and China was looking at our stuff. And so spies were getting, it just really blows my mind that there's a whole spy world just for competing for things like patents for vaccines and things of that nature, stealing each other's vials. And maybe that was how the vial wound up in the general public.
A lot of money involved if you get a patent on something like this.
Yeah, so more than likely they were stealing or trying to take samples out and sell it to the West, and at that point it leaked into the general public. That's what it looked like to me when I was remote viewing it, and that's also what the data suggested. But nobody was trying to hurt anybody. But I do think that they were running for patents for vaccinations for COVID in pigs. That's probably how it got started.
Yeah, I'm glad that Dr. Fauci said to Rand Paul, "You're obsessed with me. You have a long, ongoing obsession with me." I'm glad he said that much. But anyway, what is Jeanine Pirro's future? We did address this on Tuesday.
Did we really? I don't think we really did. I mean, well, we did in the sense that Jeanine Pirro is following the classic Trump fan playbook, which is when Trump turns on them, they start off trying to be judicial. Well, I still support him. I just don't agree with him. This is how it always ends.
And it doesn't work.
Whether it's her or Scaramucci or Meta, eventually they go down. And they start off trying to be judicious, and then it's going to be full-blown turn. That's my prediction. What do you think, Joel?
Well, I just heard the other day that on Wednesday that she dropped the charges on everybody.
Oh, did she? That's right. Of course she did. That's the whole reason
not just that one guy, the Olympian.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
she dropped the rest of them because they had proof.
Yeah, that's when Trump said she folded like an umbrella. She caved in. I'm really disappointed in her.
There was no evidence.
Of course there wasn't. Yeah.
So now Trump being completely crazy, I'm sorry, but that's what it looks like. He's in denial, and he doesn't want to admit that he's just an old man who, remember, he doesn't want to admit he's a loser. So he's got to go and falsely accuse. Are you going to, the emperor has no clothes. Who's going to be the first to take the power away? And Jeanine Pirro being one of the first people to say, you have no case. The emperor has no clothes. I just think it's the beginning of I just feel this energy is waning. He's lost his power. He's lost his magic.
Even the senators in the Senate, the GOP senators, are turning on him now.
They have to if they have any hope for the midterms. He's a kiss of death.
Let's take a look at Jeanine Pirro's future with the cards. Let's take a look. If you've just joined us, it would be great if you could like, share, subscribe to the stream. And we really appreciate it also if you decide to become members. And thanks for being here.
Yeah. And it's free.
Yeah. Okay, Jeanine Pirro at this time, she is not going to back down. She felt like the evidence being what it was, she had no choice. Two of Swords, she can't go back. Two of Swords is pretty rigid. She's not going to go back on what she said.
No.
King of Cups, delusion in their cups. Delusion is the dark aspect of the King of Cups. Hopes and fears, the Nine of Wands would be strife. One aspect of the Nine of Wands is violence or strife. And then the final outcome for how this is going to go down is it's a karmic wheel. The relationship ends because the relationship was supposed to end. Also, there's something about her having issues with her church or community. Interesting. So if, for example, she was Catholic and she was going to Catholic Mass and people didn't want to sit with her, or something about her being ostracized by her community, or a shunning that took place. She had a lover's card there. She was trying to serve two masters at the same time. So this is almost looking like a nice Catholic girl who's starting to feel guilty, runs back to her church and renounces this guy. That's kind of what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I get that, because we read on this on Tuesday, and I got very similar things. I got bravado. This is a very headstrong, self-assured woman who's not easily frightened. She's very much about her priorities, her business, and she knows that the truth is on her side, the facts, the truth. So she's not worried, and I think in that respect, she's going to be just fine. That's pretty much what I had.
I feel like,
future.
I feel like Oshun has created a circular firing squad.
Yep.
I mean, that's that. And if you're to ask me about this energy, everybody that propped up the horrible and awful that hurt others, it's like they're all going down and they're all taking each other down. It's a circular firing squad.
It's like there's an expediency to it. We talk about Oshun going in with tweezers.
I'm terrified of it.
But it's well planned.
Yes, but don't you find it terrifying also?
Well,
I mean, when the prophecy, when fire burns, it burns everything. So when you see the fire coming, get out of the way. Don't go looking for it. Yeah. I mean, I would think about what's happening in Iran, what's happening in Russia, what's happening with the war. Yeah. That's the fire that's burning everything. If you can get out of the way, get out of the way.
Right.
This is a very, like you said, it has an aspect to it of energetically that's precision, but it also has an aspect that you aren't important in the grand scheme of things. This energy is going to do what it's going to do, and you don't want to be in the middle of it. And in that sense, I think it's very scary.
But at the same time, it feels essential. Like if we're going to save humanity, we're going to save the world. Maybe Oshun knows we have to go to extremes like this.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that's the other way I see it.
Definitely.
And thus far, the people that have been brought down have really deserved to be brought down. It's been very just.
It's been horrifying because it's been horrifying because the truth is coming out. The whole Epstein thing was the beginning of the end. Those prophecies started to happen. Then the Epstein thing came out. Then Andrew got arrested. And it was just like, so it isn't just that. Yeah, within a couple of days after the Babalaos had made the prophecies out of Cuba. What's interesting about all of that, though, is that there's an aspect to all of this of the truth coming out or an exposure, and I think none of us thought it was this bad, but it is really bad. They're looking for dead bodies on royal grounds. That's really bad.
Good. That's not good.
Not good, but at the same time, it feels essential that this is coming to the surface. How much longer could this be sustained?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's like this needed to happen.
Just like with the Epstein files, with the that ranch down in New Mexico.
Yeah, but I often wonder, is anybody going to be left? I was really, it hit me hard when Swalwell got taken down.
Yeah.
That really shocked me that he was one of the people that would be taken down. Because she's not going to sit there and just say, I got to protect the Democrats. I think this is anyone who gets caught in the wave of this energy.
Right.
Please go ahead, Chuck.
Oh, will RFK Jr. resign or be fired?
Any feelings from you, Joel, on this?
He's on shaky ground. I know that.
That's for sure.
Could you elaborate, Joel, what you mean by that?
Well, you got measles outbreaks going on around the country, and plus all the idiotic statements he's been making on the news and what do you call it, the live broadcast, with the ladies and stuff like that.
Sure.
He's out there.
I mean, some of his admissions, like he admitted, I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats. He actually said that.
Yeah.
But it's just, I mean, we've known right from the beginning. We knew when in the confirmation hearings, he was never fit for that job.
No.
It was obvious to most of us. So it's kind of played out the way we thought it would. You put an idiot in that job, but it's just so sad that so much tragedy is taking place. The psychosphoria, that's being blamed on him to a degree. Why wasn't that?
Because they pulled back on, to save money, they pulled back on inspections, and they pulled back on CDC of monitoring things like food, etc., and choreographing with World Health Organization and the FDA and Food and Drug and USDA. All of those have been underemployed, and they used to just randomly check a salad. You would have a bunch coming through, and then they would grab a certain amount of bags and check for E. coli. They don't do that anymore. Looks
and
good
then
to
they
me.
had a
They cut back on things.
Then they had an outbreak of the screwworm in Texas of the cattle down there.
Oh no!
And I hope to God that they contain that before it spreads all over the country.
Oh my God! Would that go into the tissue of the cows?
Yes.
My God!
And they, they released the way they got rid of it back in the 40s and 50s is they sterilized 1 million of those flies, male flies, and then they put them in the population. And what it does, it eradicates. They can't reproduce because of all these millions of flies being sterilized. And they release them into the population, and then it eradicates it. They can't reproduce.
Wow. So this shows RFK Jr. fighting to stay in office. Actually, I've got an Ace of Wands here and a Magician card. So some kind of power over Trump to prevent himself from being fired. We could see some kind of battle taking place between him and those people that want him removed. You have the intellectuals in the Republican community. I think Marco Rubio would fall into that category, and he probably wants the idiots out. He wants RFK gone. He was very instrumental in getting Elon Musk and Doji out the door. He thought that both were questionable at best. And so you could start seeing a rift forming between RFK Jr. and Marco Rubio, which is the only person that gives any legitimacy at all to that, this cabinet.
Even Hegseth.
Yeah.
He's another candidate that needs to be out too.
Yeah.
Well, he's certainly being seen as a tremendous risk. Only becomes more of a risk, and this is the community, the world, the public sees this. It's very obvious. It's not being hidden. Around RFK Jr., there's a lot of shame, shadow, deceit, and he's fighting for his survival right now. And again, this is not to predict a physical death, but I got the death card. He's either resignation or he's fired, but he's going to be out of there.
He's got to be.
He's going to be out soon. That's what I get.
Get somebody in there who knows what they're doing.
Wouldn't that be refreshing? What a concept.
Yes.
Wow. Putin's bunker attacked at Ukrainian drones today. Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa. How do either of you know how far underground his bunker is?
Why is it? I sound like such a spoiled brat, like
why?
I'm like, because it's just like, why is phase 4 taking so long? It's not like ordering a pizza. But I'm just like, why is this taking so
Well-
long? Why can't they just arrest him already?
Well, I mean, I was going to ask you, do you know how far down underground his bunker is?
Oh, it
Like
has to
2
be
stories or something?
deep.
That's what I'm thinking too. Really,
It could be a mile. For all we know.
really,
It could be a mile.
What a concept. Yeah, it's something about it feels very, very impenetrable.
Right.
Putin's oligarchs are resigning and fleeing Russia.
Oh, well, we all saw that coming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Joel, you want to give any information on that?
Well, they had one minister that was a billionaire and a friend of Putin's who requested he wanted to resign. And then once they granted it, he was out of town. He was out. He got the hell out of there. Then where he's at, nobody knows. I think he went to somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, well, they'll find him.
Oh,
Yeah.
They always do.
I'm smiling at this question. Will Trump be held accountable for his massive corruption?
Yeah.
I hope so. I don't think the history books will be kind to him. He'll be held accountable, at least in that respect. But
Well, that's true, but I'm talking about
right now,
arrest. Yeah.
Let's take a look and see what's happening with Trump in the next couple of weeks, if we can get anything about his energy over the next couple of weeks, because I just feel like he is a guy who sees himself. He looks at himself like a guy having a winning streak in a casino, winning, run that roulette wheel, lucky number 7, and I won again. And then there's almost a kind of superstitious energy where now he feels like, damn, red 13, I lost, boom, 45, I lost, black, I lost again, like this. I gotta have a win, because it's boom, boom, lose. E. Jean Carroll. Now Pirro. There's a feeling I get when I put myself in the shoes of Trump that I feel like I need a win. And that I see the writing on the wall. Also, didn't they take the name Trump down from the Kennedy Center?
They did.
yes,
So
they
this
did. I think the scaffolding is still up, though, but they took it
that
down.
and the reflecting pool. So I am fighting for a win here in the casino of life. And so now I didn't screw up with the reflecting pool. I can't take any more losses in my mind. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that way about Putin too. It's a similar kind of denial.
I feel like he slowly pulled back from his duties. And I think a lot of people want him to stay with limited powers in his current place. I think more Democrats would prefer he stay in office, only working 2-3 hours a day to J.D. Vance, which would be a younger, more dangerous version of Donald Trump.
Yeah. Isn't it rumored that he basically watches television all day anyway, and maybe does work about 2 hours anyway?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's extremely angry, by the way. He presented as the Knight of Swords, and others guarding themselves from him in his house of opposition. But also, look at this, his hope and fear, his cognitive issues, sobriety. I just feel that he will be controlled, only has to do a couple of hours on camera a day. The rest of the time, he can just check out.
Yeah, they pump him up full of Adderall or whatever they need to do to get him to be able to speak on camera. But you know what I'm getting? This is kind of obvious. I'm not surprised. He's fighting for his survival. He's when I got the solitude card, I take that to mean he's being increasingly isolated, increasing judgment against him. They've got that shadow card again. Yeah. All of his deceit, all of his corruption, everything. But it's interesting. I got that restriction card. You know, the chains, the locks, he's being clamped down upon. And I think that very much ties in with what you were saying. That's what's happening. Again, I got this card, not saying physical, you know what, but that came up again.
Jeez.
And maybe, I know it just came up. And then this card, I don't even know whether to show it or not, but I'm getting whatever happens that gets him out of office. there's going to be celebration. I'm sorry
Of
to show that,
course.
but that card popped out of the deck. It's like this is the consensus of most of the world. There will be celebration once he's out.
All over the world.
Yeah. So I hope that wasn't inappropriate to show that card, but it was there.
No.
Will the Bernie Sanders-backed candidates win their elections in November?
I'm thinking yes.
I
Yeah.
think they will.
I think that people are so damn pissed off about the loss of the unions.
Yeah.
I think they've just moved left,
Yeah.
especially
don't-
in Michigan. Remember what I told you about Michigan?
Yes. Yes. You know, the dying cities there. You know,
Can you blame them?
Flint, Detroit. You know,
Can you blame them though?
No.
no, you can't blame. You can't blame.
Let's
them.
Let's
We
take
were
a.
talking
Let's
about
take a.
their water
Yeah.
situation in Michigan.
Let's see how
Terrible.
progressives are going to do in November. I can't say I'm surprised.
Okay. I think it looks good. I think it looks good.
Sun is coming out over the progressives. There's also a lot of
Yeah.
confusion. People are concerned about a split in the Democratic Party. That could build an advantage in the Republican Party. So people could be bailing moderates towards the Republican, or it could lead to more independence. Final outcome is victory in the next 3 months. We will see probably more progressive candidates in than ever before with the Three of Wands, because Three of Wands is your wish has been granted, and it's a 3-month period, and we're August right now, so we're talking about going into November. Looks very good for progressives, and I think that's a mixed bag. I don't like everything that's going on with the progressives, but I do think some of it's good, and I can see how we got here. I don't know, Joel, do you have a feeling about it?
I think after the elections, we're going to have new leadership in the House and Senate. It's not going to be Chuck Schumer. I think Chuck Schumer is going to resign.
Could be a lot of new blood, I think. Well,
Even
if I may,
Jeffries,
I'm sorry,
I
you're
think
still
is
talking.
gone. That's all right. And I think Jeffries is going to get out too.
Yeah, I was going to say the community, the American people, see these progressives as a life force, new blood, new beginnings, exciting, pleasure.
Oh.
They're happy about this. And my last card, new beginnings. So I think that ties in with what you were saying about the elections. New beginnings. And it feels positive to me.
People want change, and I think some of the MAGA people will roll over and vote for progressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially with all the cuts that are Medicare and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And this is on a lot of people's minds right now. Is the GOP planning on revamping or eliminating Medicare? I mean,
Chuck,
they're already denying Medicare payments to California right now. And I think one other state, claiming fraud or something ridiculous like that. And a lot of people depend upon it. If they don't completely get away with eliminating it, which I'm not sure they would, I think they would revamp it in such a way that they will tear it down as much as they feel they can get away with.
They want to go private.
Yeah, they do. They do. But it's just appalling what's happened with California.
It's a big problem. I have a devil card over this issue and 8 of Swords, too much red tape. That's why I always pay cash and just hope for the best, like 6 of Cups, trying to woo voters, trying to woo people. I think that something has to change because it's just become too expensive. So I'm seeing changes happening for the better.
Yeah. What I am getting is there's going to be some sort of judgment, judicial, some sort of higher ruling, like say this is unconstitutional or something, but something higher is going to intervene. There's going to be some sort of judgment that's going to prevent Medicare from being completely destroyed.
You got to.
I agree.
You have to have a safety net for people.
Yeah.
It's just unconscionable.
It is unconscionable
that they would let this go on and let people die without any health and care at all. I mean, it's criminal.
I almost want to say, Oshun, come in,
please.
do your job. Do your job. We got some people we can just put right in front of you.
She governs the cardiovascular.
Yes, you've been telling me that.
So, I mean, she tends to take people out with stroke,
Mm-hmm.
aneurysms,
Aneurysms,
heart
anemia.
attacks,
Yeah.
anemia. Yeah.
Well, I would think any kind of disease of the blood. Would leukemia, things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Anything like that.
Another thing that I've been hearing is that when the new Congress is put in, and maybe in 27 or even 29, they're going to revamp the tax system.
Yeah.
It's a disaster right now. The tax code is basically destroying our way of life here. And I think what's going to end up happening is we're going to end up with a 15% minimum tax on all the corporations and the wealthy.
Oh, and that'd be great.
That way they can't get out, like Amazon not paying any taxes for how many years now? They haven't paid any taxes.
That's crazy.
Because of all the tax breaks they get at. Zero taxes are paying. And what they do with this 15%, they're going to be able to fund all these programs that they've been killing off.
Trump was after Bezos, and then Bezos endorsed him, and now we don't hear him bitching at all about Amazon anymore.
Oh my God. Didn't Bezos also make that movie about Melania?
Exactly. And remember when he wanted Bezos, I'm going to come after you for, you're not paying enough for your shipping cost and everything, Amazon delivery. And he was all that crap because of competition with, he had made deals with other shipping companies. And then it turned out it all disappeared as soon as Bezos said, well, how about I endorse you? And then all of a sudden, Amazon was great. Never heard a peep out of Trump after that.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Please go ahead, Chuck.
Love this question. Will Mitch McConnell serve out his term in the Senate? What do you think, Whimsy?
I think, this almost makes me think of hospice, him being sent home.
Exactly.
I think it's, a statement was made from supposedly Mitch McConnell, but we haven't heard from him on the phone.
Supposedly.
We know
We've never
he's
seen
going
him on
home.
camera.
This is like this. It's almost like home hospice care or something.
Well, and I read one account said, well, maybe they want to take him to his home so he can die there instead of in the center where there would be too many witnesses who would have to be forced to lie about it. So that could be it. I think you make a great theory about it. Could be for hospice. But I thought, why doesn't Kentucky Governor Beshear pay a little call on Mitch at his home now that he's returned? It's so absurd. I watched the evening news tonight. I thought surely there would be like some video or something of him leaving. Wasn't the hospital? It was a recovery center or something. But you would think there'd be something of him going to his home or something. No,
or waving at the cameras. Come on, man. Do they think we're stupid?
Yeah, I mean, didn't Mitch McConnell go into cardiac arrest? He was found with his heart stopped. The paramedics found him in cardiac arrest, and they had to perform CPR. Now, Whimsy, normally when you do CPR on an 84-year-old frail man like that, wouldn't you break his chest?
It's very high, but he's claiming he did not have a heart attack, and that's not true. Or whoever is speaking on his behalf, because we don't know if it's him. It was a statement from his offices.
Oh, because I thought it was
so
confirmed that he was
crazy.
found in cardiac arrest, and they had to do CPR on him.
I think that might have been
that alone would have been incapacitated.
I think Lindsey Graham for sure had that.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsey Graham died from dissected aneurysm, which is also what my father died from. Yeah. So, again, a case of the blood, right? Boy, makes me nervous. That according to the Akashic records, he is leaving.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going, we don't want to make any predictions, but we have an 8 of Cups here, packing up and leaving everything. Again, it doesn't show him return. Look, if the guy returns to the Senate, I'll be shocked. Oh, there he is. But I don't see him returning with those types of cards. And then there's grief over him as well. The final outcome for Mitch McConnell, not returning, 4 of Cups, rejects the offer. For whatever reason, he is not returning to the Senate.
No.
Unless something dramatic changes, Mitch McConnell will no longer be in the Senate.
Because doesn't he have like 5 months left on his term? I think it's until January
Till
2027.
Till the end of December, I think.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I'm wondering if they could successfully keep him under wraps for this little bit of time here and just say, oh, he's conducting business on the phone, teleconferencing, things like that. I wonder if they could get away with that.
Or
With an auto pen, yes. And isn't that what they accused Biden of?
Yes.
Well, hold up now. Wait a minute. Why? What? No. Isn't that what you do when you're going to do something naughty? You accuse the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So is this what? You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we had an auto pen from Lindsey Graham if we hadn't seen, the funeral. We might have gotten if if they had gotten away with him going message. Would we have seen an auto pen from Lindsey Graham's offices? I don't know. Discuss.
Yeah. But for Mitch, I got physical body, survival, huge denial, and we know where that is coming from. And something that gives me a little bit of hope is I got the truth card. Like they're not going to be able to hide this.
Somebody's going to speak up.
To the surface. Yeah, I have to believe that the truth.
Even if it is one of the hospital staff is going to speak up about it.
Yeah, or even if it's Governor Bashir making a little house call or something.
Right.
It just, you can't. How do you hide this for 5 months? So anyway, almost 100 of Wildberry Russians' Amazon warehouses have been destroyed by constant Ukrainian drone attacks, which has affected civilian and military supplies.
I'm going to give this question over to Joel first. Joel, can you please tell people what Wildberries is and what's the significance of them being bombed?
It's like a Amazon, but what they do is they supply civilian people in Russia, throughout Russia, and also the military. The military gets a lot of their supplies from their the Wildberry.
Exactly.
But it is like Amazon, like our Amazon.
Exactly.
And would function similar, like
very similar.
So it means a lot of people depended upon it.
Exactly. And right now, because of the warehouses being destroyed all throughout that area, which is about 100 right now.
Whoa.
The company, there's 100 warehouses have been knocked out. And they say that Wildberry is going broke. It's $8 billion in debt right now because they can't fulfill their orders. Got all their stuff is destroyed.
Imagine that happening here with our Amazon.
Oh, of course.
Similar, how catastrophic it would be. Will Max Miller resign or drop out in his re-election bid?
God, I hope so.
One or the other.
Well, first off, do you want to tell people who Max Miller is, Joel?
He's a congressman, I think, from Ohio.
Yeah.
And big MAGA supporter too.
Exactly. He's backed by Trump and all that, and he's got a history of violent behavior, and especially against his wife and daughter.
Yeah,
and so the pressure's on him now to drop out completely from Congress.
Yeah, okay. I would certainly think with his father, the senator, condemning him, I just don't see this sustainable. Resign or drop out.
It's better
resign or drop out.
Better.
Yeah,
I really think it's better for the GOP to get him out and then get somebody else in there to take his place.
Oh yeah.
Let's go ahead and see the future of Max Miller. I honestly don't know how this is going to play itself out, but let's take a look. Ohio, you deserve better. That's what I would say to the people of Ohio, whether you go GOP or Democrat. We don't need abusers to be representing our states.
Yeah, I think it's going to be any day now myself.
I think if he doesn't resign, I think what's going to end up happening is GOP's going to drop him. like what they did with
Oh yeah.
Plattner.
What happened with Plattner, because I went in and I did a little remote viewing, was that they withheld money that had come in from super PACs, and so we had no money to
Right.
run a campaign, and so we had no choice. This looks like a genuine attempt by Max Miller to clean up his reputation, because he believes if he did so, he could win in Ohio. Because you have the Six of Cups, him presenting as service to the people. His house of opposition is ethics investigations, higher ethos, and the church. Hopes and fears his health. There's a health issue here. Could be his mental or physical health. Final outcome, a great celebration upon us. So I don't know if that means that he wins and turns his life around and starts trying to become a more ethical person. Oh, he's got a health issue coming up. It's coming up again here. This was on top of Archangel Raphael.
Think it could be
Governance of
blood?
issues on health.
Could be.
Oh no! Did Oshun take out another one? He's restricted, contained. They're going to squeeze him out, and he's having a health crisis. So she's doing something with him as well with his health.
Mental breakdown.
Well, and I just get the community, meaning the good people of Ohio, see the shadow and they see the shame here. It's very obvious to them. And this card I find interesting because I think this ties in now with what you were saying about a health issue. I got exhaustion. You see the person collapsed on the stairs there, weak, worn out, too much raining down on him. I think that's what that's saying there. And then ultimately I see him out of there. I got the deprivation card, meaning he'll be deprived one way or the other. I just don't see him staying in there.
No.
Yeah, I don't see him there either, because Eight of Swords is to be restricted, and often it's taxes or legal restraints. And so despite his efforts to say, well, I'm going to change my brand, it's going to show me at a soup kitchen helping the poor. Say he tries to improve his brand, that's what it looked like.
I don't think people are going to fall for it. No.
It will not succeed because someone's going to tie him up, possibly financially. And also there's a health issue that's coming up for him as well that could pose a problem in the future.
I think when people try to reinvent like that, the public sees through it. It's too staged. But anyway, is Fauci another distraction for Trump and the Epstein files?
Ooh, Joel, you hit that one out of the ballpark.
Yes.
I think 100%. I think that all of this is chaos and distractions.
Again, I think the public sees it. Everybody sees through it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the end, people have moved on from COVID. I think that most people had a balanced view of COVID. We didn't know what we were dealing with. They understand that people had to take necessary precautions. At least one of us knows somebody who had a serious case of COVID, or we know someone who died from COVID. So I think most Americans don't hold extremist views. They have very sane, rational views. And I think all of this makes no sense to the average American. And they're starting to just see it as just one frickin' distraction after another.
Yeah. I think also people have forgotten how terrified we were those first few months of the COVID and the lockdown, and we didn't have any vaccinations.
We hadn't done any DNA analysis. We had no idea what we were dealing with.
So we were watching people dying, and we were locked in our homes. It was terrifying. He was a leader for us.
Do you guys remember when they had that place, that nursing home in Tacoma? I used to drive by that place. Mm-hmm. Everybody that was in that facility died, including the staff. God. Everybody. Yeah. That's how bad it was when it first started. Nobody knew what the hell it was.
People didn't understand the basic virology, and those. I was licensed in the state of California. Chuck was licensed as well. We had to go through COVID training, and one of the things that I was trying to educate, just in terms of my education and then trying to share it with the audience, was that it's not just about COVID that's going to determine whether or not you die from COVID. It has to do with your viral load. How much COVID were you exposed to, and where COVID winds up in your body. If you take a big inhalation of a massive dose, what we call a high viral load, and it goes deep inside your lung, there's a good chance you're in serious trouble, because this type of virus masks itself. You're not going to even know you have COVID until it's 5 days later, and by then you're dead.
Yeah.
And that's the danger of COVID getting deep inside your lungs. And with healthcare practitioners that were exposed to extremely high loads and were breathing, and the masks were not going to protect them, we saw a lot of people dying that were in the healthcare profession.
My nephew, one of my nephews, who has respiratory problems, he was dead in 30 minutes after he had hit it.
Yeah.
He had it. And by the time the 911, he called 911. By the time they arrived, which was 30 minutes later, he was already dead. He was purple.
I know. I lost two friends to COVID. I was just going to say very
We all
quickly,
lost
I
people.
always, I thought of Dr. Fauci as a voice of reason. He was comforting. I trusted him at a time where we were all scared. He helped to calm us and reassure us. I think he should be looked upon as a hero. Anyway, hi, Dr. Whimsy. Hi, Whimsy. Dr. Whimsy, Chuck, and Joel. Good news. I thank you all for your prayers for my darling grand girl, Claire. She got the job. She wanted working with autistic children. Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much.
So weird that the name is Claire. I had a dream where a fairy came to visit me when I was vacationing in. Chuck and I went to Cardiff, and I had a dream where a visitation of a fairy named Claire, and I thought, I've never heard that name before, and now I'm hearing the name all the time. Claire is a fairy name.
That's a beautiful name.
Yeah, it is. And from Good as Gold 2.0, are we going to end up being under Sharia law?
Sharia law.
Sharia law. Okay.
The concern here is that many countries have succumbed to Sharia law. We see, for example, Islamabad. We see Afghanistan falling to Sharia law. Iran fell to Sharia law. Pakistan fell to Sharia law. Saudi Arabia, Sharia law. Qatar, Oman. And it doesn't bode well for individual rights. And the concern is that a growing number of Americans want Sharia law right now. You have something like, between 1% and 3% of Americans believe in Sharia law. So we'll see. I don't think so, because I think that we have just too much diversity. And so I don't think but we'll see. You have pockets, you have areas, for example, like Dearborn, Michigan, where a large percentage of people coming in from countries like Iran still very much believe in Sharia law. So we could see pockets of it in certain neighborhoods.
From Rebecca L. 135, peace and health to us all. Oranges and sunflowers for Oshun. Oh, thank you for being here, Whimsy, Chuck, and Joel. Well, thank you. Thank you.
She loves her oranges and she loves her sunflowers. You ever notice that the Queen of Wands is holding a sunflower, which is the flower that's Oshun's flower?
Yeah. Well, I remember in LA, you used to have a little shrine to Oshun, and I think you did have some oranges in there. I remember from Deb-P9J, Max Miller says his wife has mental illness. This is untrue, I believe. Yeah, of course.
She's a nut. She's a slut. Isn't that gaslighting? Isn't that what malignant narcissists do when they when you start exposing them, they start calling you a nut and a slut?
Yep. That's disgusting. As soon as I read that statement, But it doesn't surprise me.
I can't even keep up with all these crazy things that are going.
From Linda Z-19B, apparently he poured hot scalding water on his ex-wife. I believe I did read that. Yes.
Despicable.
Oh my God. And then he's saying she's still cooking for him.
Oh my God. It just goes to show that I think a lot of malignant narcissists, they get attracted to politics and power. What do you folks think?
Oh, it makes a lot of sense to me.
Makes perfect sense.
Power, control over other people, and then all the graft. Let's face it, most politicians get pretty wealthy, powerful. Yeah. Laney Ann 402. Rand is saying that Fauci lied about the fact that he lied about COVID's beginning and the way it was quote unquote, let loose onto the world.
I think the way was that people were stealing each other's DNA because they were trying to sell. I think American spies wanted to know what the Chinese were working on, because Chinese spies were arrested in Canada and the United States attempting to steal vials of COVID research from the United States. It was just spies, people trying to sell it on the open market, and it leaked. Why don't you just tell people the truth?
Well, China's version of the COVID vaccine.
But we didn't know that. But Fauci didn't know that. Nobody knew that at the time.
Remember, we were told it was someone eating a bat at a market. Hi, Joyce, my friend. They brought him into Congress to question him, and he took the fifth. So they charged him for contempt of Congress.
That's not contempt.
No, it isn't, and that's why the law is on his side. I mean, I'm sure Dr. Fauci has the best counsel possible, and he was advised to take the fifth. From Gloria Boujrin, 4342. But it was okay for Jim Jordan to plead the fifth, and nothing happened to all the hypocrisy, double standards. From Kimberly Bly Fitpold, I think that Pirro is a drunk. I hope Oshun gets her.
How do you guys feel about that? Do you feel that Pirro has propped up an administration that has harmed women, children, etc., and that she's getting her just rewards? Talk about that, because I think that there's a point there. Like, just because it's a woman, the bottom line was that she was supporting policies.
You've already pointed out, June will go after women also. But I haven't heard that about her being a drunk. But I think definitely
I've heard it.
The policies have been atrocious against women. I mean, it's most of this administration.
Very true.
P9J. Max Miller was taking nude pictures of his 2-year-old daughter and posting them online.
Sick.
And I agree with this question here. Why is he not in prison?
Exactly.
Why has he?
But I mean, I've taken pictures of my niece and nephew when they're having bath time, and it didn't even enter my mind that someone would think it was something weird.
Well, I mean,
when did that become not
like that too?
Yeah, I mean, my parents took pictures of my bath time.
Oh, I've got some embarrassing pictures.
I'm not
of me
thinking
in the
anything.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not thinking anything weird about a little kid having a bath. Like, we all have bath time pictures. When did it? Maybe it changed. Maybe now it's not considered appropriate because people might have the. Back then, it was considered normal. And when I was a kid, it was normal.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too. You know, like I said, I have a full frontal of me in my little bathtub, which embarrassed the hell out of me. Well, usually when my mother would get that out, you know.
I think it's when parents give their newborn its first bath, and I think that it's kind of cute because the baby can like fit into the sink in the bathrooms, the kitchen sink. A lot of mothers used to put a little thing in the kitchen sink because the baby's so tiny. So we don't necessarily. Maybe his intention was just to show pictures of his baby daughter, and there was nothing inappropriate about it. So I would want to know the context. If it's just pictures of his baby at playtime. You know who also did a recording of that? Was Isn't She Lovely? What was his name?
Stevie Wonder.
Oh, Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, you know that was recorded in a bathroom giving his baby a bath.
Oh yeah, but I think most of us who saw that found it very innocent and very sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah. There was nothing.
Yeah. Have you guys heard the end?
No.
Because towards the end, towards the end of the song, he just put the microphone next to the water.
Oh.
But you can hear her. I don't know. I think where was it when he? You guys know what the part was?
Toward the end, wasn't it?
I don't know. I just remember that he recorded her in the bath, and it was the first time he had given his baby daughter a bath. Yeah, so in the bath you'll hear the child playing. So this would be an innocent example of a parent brings the child home.
Sure.
So you can't assume just because of something like that.
Well, also, I'm thinking if the pictures were truly lascivious, the news media would have made a much bigger case out of it by now.
Of course.
So maybe they are innocent. I'd have to
Oh
see
my
pictures
God,
myself.
though. The reason why it makes me nervous, though, is because he already had past allegations of abuse. And so given who he is, then when you put that in with why, if he was Princess Diana bathing children in India, there are photographs of her bathing children in India. Y'all remember those pictures? How is that not porn, right? So you always have to, you remember the pictures of her and Diana picking up children, and then they were doing bathing, right? You have to always think in terms of the context. I think it's because of who Max Miller is. That is why it creeps them out. That's my own feeling about it.
Probably.
Wow. So this was fun. I think we were here on about an hour and a half. So I think we'll go ahead and close. Did you both have a good time?
I did.
As always. Yes. Love being here. All these wonderful people.
It is. We had a
hope we answered everybody's questions today.
Yeah,
I hope so too.
Close to 300 people here. We did not get to everybody, but we did try. Joel, if people are trying to contact you for veterans services for the disabled, how do they reach you?
Just contact me at joeltilson@msn.com, and I'll be happy to answer any question you have about
people also. Okay, I'm sorry.
About veterans benefits and or if you're having a tough time with the claims or whatever, just contact me and I'll answer your questions.
I had a couple of other people on YouTube ask if you were taking any more clients as a floor director, or is this it?
Oh, I think I got my hands full.
So
Who
that
else
would be
asking?
Just people here who have their own shows. They need a floor director to come and help.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
yes, Chuck, not everybody has.
No, you are valuable. We are so grateful to you. But I saw that little twinkle in your eyes, that smile, and I knew what your answer was going to be.
So I think
he's ours.
I think if you want Joel as your floor director, I think the best thing to do would be to contact him. What dates and times, payment, etc. What kind of contract you're going to have? Just contact him directly, and you guys can discuss it through his email. Because I'm not his manager. He just comes here and works.
I just hang out, guys. I'm retired.
Well,
I'm 75 years old and I'm retired.
Well, there were 2 people who requested your services, so I thought that I would just.
I'm flattered.
Yeah, well, it helps the show. The show goes very smoothly.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chuck, how can
I?
Well,
for me, best way to reach me right now is dransfieldchuck@gmail.com. I love doing private readings for people. I love to be commissioned for artwork. I'm doing both right now and having a great time with it. It's extremely rewarding for me, and it is always my honor. And I'm putting up new videos on my channel. As you know, I lost my cat, Sasha, 2 weeks ago. So I thought a way to honor her and do something constructive with this is do a series of videos on my personal process of working through the grief of Sasha. And I'm hoping it will help other people. So I put my first one up last night, putting another one up tonight. Check me out, please. And
yeah. Awesome.
Whimsy.
Of course, if you'd like to have a reading with me, you can contact me through Booksy, Dr. Whimsy Anderson, for medical consults, intuition, general health coaching, and also tarot card reading and remote viewing. I am your psychic spy for hire. We love what we do here. We're so glad that all of you could take time to spend this Thursday with us. Please take care of yourselves and be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless, peace out, and we will see you all next time.